This video is intended as an introduction and summary to the physics by Aristotle. I'm going to read just a little bit from the book and then just talk about how the book is made up. Time is not composed of moments, just as a line is not composed of points. This is taken out of book 6. Motion is not composed of starts, for this theory simply makes motion consist of indivisibles in exactly the same way as time is made to consist of moments or length of points. Again, it may be shown in the following way that there can be no motion of a point or of any other indivisible. That which is in motion can never traverse a space greater than itself without first traversing a space equal to or less than itself. That being so, it is evident that the point also must first traverse a space equal to or less than itself. But since it is indivisible, there can be no space less than itself for it to traverse first. So we'll have to traverse a distance equal to itself. Thus the line will be composed of points. For a point, as it continually traverses a distance equal to itself, will be a measure of the whole line. But since this is impossible, it is likewise impossible for the indivisible to be in motion. Jumping ahead a little bit here, our next point is that no process of change is infinite. Being is the limit of coming to be, and not being is the limit of ceasing to be. And in contrary, changes, the particular contraries, are the limits, since these are the extreme points of any such process of change, and consequently of every process of alteration, for alteration is always dependent on some contraries. So that's just an example of the round and round that Aristotle went through in his physics in regards to discreteness, motion, time, change, the study of the finite versus the infinite. And in final analysis, what he came up with was a philosophy of realism. Even though he studied Zeno in here and Parmenides and a lot of different things, he came up in final analysis as how does this impact the real world? And Ayn Rand took this philosophy ultimately and built her objectivism off of this. He believed that the world was discrete, made up of discrete units, and that is how we can understand it and how we're able to move through time and space. He believed that it was limited, that the infinite was impossible. A lot of Aristotle's work stayed on the sidelines in human history for a long time. It was discovered again by St. Thomas Aquinas around 1200, I believe, and that's where there was the rebirth of it, and ultimately led to a lot of the Renaissance and you could say industrial revolution, because this was a foundation for science. Ultimately, that you saw great growth in the living conditions of human beings. So just summarizing, just overall, the book 1 talks about change. Book 2 talks about the nature and the cause of being. Book 3 talks about the potential versus the actual. Book 4, motion, with a discussion of what the first cause would be. Also, Aristotle was a determinist to a great extent. The laws of nature, cause and effect. Book 5 and 6 talked about discreteness. He believed in discreteness, but he also tried to jam in there that there was continuity as well. And this I don't think is really possible as Zeno laid it out. So I think either you have to believe one way or the other, discreteness or continuity. And in our world, discreteness really does win out. I don't think there's true continuity in our perception. Book 7 talks about cause and effect, and Book 8 talks about the prime mover, and that takes up most of the book.